Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I'd like to express my sadness and condolences to the people of Iran for what they are going through, and wish peace for them. I just briefly want to say a few words about the context of what is happening. I want to say a few words about the context of what is happening now, the recent Israeli attacks on Iran. Of course, it is true that Palestine is a crucial, important context, but it's not the only context. It's very important to realize. As far as Palestine is concerned, the problem stems from the fact that Israel is basically at root a European colonial state. And in fact, our media, the Malaysian media and other media around the world, should stop referring to this as an occupation. It is a lot more than an occupation. There are actually 3 or 4 forms of colonization going on in Israel. You have Israel and the West and parts of the West Bank, which is what we call settler colonialism. You have Gaza up until October 7, 2023, which is a semi-colonial state. You have other parts of the West Bank which are not settled. We can refer to it as indirect rule, in the way that parts of Malaya were under indirect rule. The British ruled Malaya through the Malay rulers. In quite the same way, parts of the West Bank are ruled by Israel through the Palestinian Authority. Sorry to say that. And then you have occupation. Right now, Israel is occupying southern Syria. That's what you may call an occupation, right? So this is going on, and this has been the context since 1948. It is a colonial state. Now, as a colonial state, it is part of the larger phenomenon of Western imperialism. And I think this is the context that I want to emphasize, that as a colonial state, Israel also functions as a representative of Western, particularly US imperialism. US imperialism is about the control of economic resources, the control of regimes, of governments in the region, control of trade routes such as the Straits of Hormuz, such as the Red Sea, the Bab al-Mandab. These are vital, as far as imperialist powers are concerned. It's vital for them to have control over all of this in order for in order to safeguard the economic interest, basically the interest of global capitalism. So we have to understand that context. It's only when we understand that context and we understand Israel's role as an imperialist, a regional imperialist power, that we understand that the solution to these problems is something extremely complicated and very difficult to achieve, because it requires no less than a revolt against global capitalism, which is inextricably bound up with imperialism. It involves delinking from the system. It involves de-dollarization. It involves a level of unity among countries of the global south, and certainly a level of unity among Muslim countries, which is virtually non-existent. It's virtually non-existent. You have a lot of, can you believe that some countries open up their airspace for Israeli jets to fly through? This is the level of unity. This is what apparently some countries mean by ukhuwa Islamiyya, by Muslim brotherhood. So the level of hypocrisy is terrific. The terrific level of hypocrisy, and we are tired of hearing words of politicians. We want people to be genuinely united, not just to express unity, but to be genuinely united through through action. I think this is what we need to discuss, not just for the sake of Palestine, not just for the sake of Iran, but for the sake of the future of the Muslim world, and indeed the global South. It is not only Muslim countries. Other countries in the global South are also suffering from imperialism, from the interference of the global powers in their affairs. So what needs to be discussed is how countries can actually work together. There's some discussions going on among BRICS countries. I think what we've been seeing over the last decades is a gradual but very slow unraveling of US-led Western imperialism. But it's a very slow process of decline, and this process of decline is going to be violent. And the violence we are seeing in Palestine, now in Iran, and the fact that, for example, Israel has engaged in aggression in at least 4 countries in the last 2 years, since October 2023, against Palestine, against Lebanon, against Syria, and now Iran. These are all indications of the very slow, gradual beginnings of what I want to say is the decline of basically of Western civilization. But it is going to take a long time. We have to understand how this is taking place and what the Muslim world and indeed the global South in general needs to do to speed up that decline in a way that is least violent and in a way that is best for all of humanity. This is the context that I wanted to convey. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Can you speak? Just let a lot of the guests come in, if possible, and yes, just 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Friends, Excellency, Zi0n1, Said Pari, and others, recognize some faces from that. Nice to see all that. Friend Brahmani, people that have moved a long while. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. I'll be brief in my remarks. There are just 3 points that I'd like to make, gathering like this. First, as the Muqaddimah, introduction to the 3 points, I think this is a very good initiative taken by the individuals who are behind this gathering. It has happened very soon, after last Friday, 13th of June, and I'm glad that a statement has been made, a protest has been sent, meetings have been organized, and a lot of this is due to the commitment and the dedication of Frederick Gosman. I think this is something that is commendable, and we should support efforts of this sort. In terms of things that we can do, I think it's so important to have immediately a center that will gather information and disseminate information. It's very, very important. In other words, we have to keep ourselves informed of what's happening in West Asia, particularly Palestine, Iran, and so on. And we should also brief each other on what is happening. For that reason, we need a center for dissemination of information, very rapid, immediate dissemination of information, but for the local audience, the basic audience. For instance, the protest note, we haven't received it, but we would like to know what is happening, and we would like to help disseminate widely, because we have a fairly wide network and we can send it to all those friends and groups. And I'm sure others are also in that sort of position. You have the network, you have the contacts, but information is very important. It is important for all of us to know, for instance, that the protest has already been registered. Very, very important. And what are its contents? That's what we should know, as far as the protest is concerned. And from what little I've heard from Tigwazmi, I think those points that have been made are important. They're valuable. They have to be disseminated widely. So that's number one. Wide dissemination within the local constituency, within Malaysian society, and it should not be just in English, Bahasa, and Chinese, Tamil, keganasan, and some of the other languages. I think we should, if we can, translate to these languages as soon as possible. So regard that as the first and most important task. Second point I want to make is, I think it is very, very important for us to play a role at the regional level. One is national, second is regional. That's ASEAN. ASEAN has made some statements here and there, but generally ASEAN, given its strength, its potential strength, has not been effective on this issue of the crisis in West Asia. They can do much more. And when I say they can do much more, I mean they can use whatever muscle they have in terms of trade, in terms of investments, in terms of technology, in terms of information flows. They haven't done that. So I think we should continue to function at that level and try to mobilize our other fellow members in ASEAN. Many of us have contacts with some of them as individuals and groups, but we can do more. So at the regional level, I think there is a need for that sort of mobilization, which has to happen. If ASEAN plays a role, believe me, it will have an impact on the world. Why? Why will it have an impact? Partly because ASEAN is 690 million people, it's big, it is one of the biggest collective economies in the world. But more important, ASEAN is China's neighbor. And the United States in particular will be very, very conscious of and very, very responsive to what happens in relation to ASEAN within the context of China. If we can try to influence China, mobilize, we develop that sort of pressure, I think it will have an impact. So the ASEAN dimension. And last, and the third point, very quickly that I want to make, at the international level, you know, one of the greatest shortcomings of this crisis, the nation which is perhaps as responsible as Israel for what is happening, the perpetrator of this crisis, is also the nation that claims to be the mediator, the United States, which is the oddest sort of situation in world history. It has never happened. They pretend to be the mediator, which means they destroy mediation. They destroy attempts to resolve this issue, which is why I, together with a few other groups outside this country, we've argued in the last few months in particular for a concerted attempt to bring this whole issue of West Asia, Palestine, now Iran, and the other states, bring it under a genuine international movement. Maybe a new movement that we may have to create, even maybe the UN, but a UN that is refurbished, that is reinvigorated. Maybe that is what we have to work towards. But we cannot go on allowing the US to play this role, because as long as this happens, there will be no solution to this problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Chandra Muzaffar, I want to ask the Ansari, please you. Just a 5 minutes, okay, because a lot of people want to discuss.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Brothers Muslim, Saya amat bersyukur pada petang ini dapat bersama untuk berdiri teguh dengan rakyat Iran dalam menghadapi tentangan daripada iblis dunia, iaitu Amerika dan regim Israel. Bukan sahaja kita datang ini untuk tunjuk sokongan kepada Iran, tetapi untuk kita tunjuk kepada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala bahawa kita bersama dengan orang-orang yang dizalimi sepanjang masa. Sebagaimana terbangnya bulu pipik untuk memadam api yang digunakan oleh Raja Namrud terhadap Nabi Ibrahim. Saya alhamdulillah secara ringkas, masa tak ada, saya baru balik ke Iran. I've been to Iran 4 times. The third time is together with Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, and accompany him to receive 2 doctorates from the University of Iran. Then last 3 days I came back after I was given an opportunity to attend to celebrate the anniversary of 36 years the dismissal of Imam Ayatollah Khomeini. And it's so sentimental to me because 45 years back, God willing, I met Imam Khomeini in Paris. That time I was 28 years old, and I just got married, and I just been released by ISA. So I don't know how come I managed to go to Paris, and I met Ayatollah Khomeini. It's a long story. And I came back, I wrote a book that time, and the book was sold out. Then I was called quite a few times. Of course, Malaysia is popular with record statement from Bukit Aman. So that's it, a short story. Then 2018, I received the invitation. I never go after that. But 2018 I went with Datuk Zi0n, and I met the day Imam Ahmad Khomeini, the son of Imam Ahmad Khomeini. And that is very interesting. Because when I was brought to see him, we go to one short lot and we go down, and then we walk about 25 minutes. It was underground. Because the life at that time in Iraq is so tragic. But anyway, when I went the last few days, I saw everything change. Of course, Iran is progressing, even though they are facing the sanction by America. And the city is becoming more clean, more organized. And one thing I can tell you, Iranian people is the best. Iran is the best people of the world. They are so friendly, over friendly. I never come across with other countries which I visited, many countries. You ask where is the toilet, they doesn't show you with the hand, that's the toilet. They bring you to the toilet. They wait you outside the toilet. And that is Iran. It's really fantastic. So anyway, we are talking about the sanction of Iran. When I was there, I was being invited. It's about 300 delegates from many countries or from overseas. One of the functions is to attend a gathering, a Muslim Ummah gathering, to hear the speech by the Supreme Leader, Ali Khamenei. And they took us at 4 o'clock in the morning to the shrine of Imam. And when we arrived there about 5 o'clock, there were thousands of people gathering there. So, and it's a very tight security. And I don't want to touch more, but what I want to emphasize is that 1.5 hour speech by Imam Khomeini fully concentrate on the negotiation of the nuclear with America. With America, so the nuclear is going on, the negotiation is going on. And he said Iran is very proactive. Iran is willing to give and take. Because Iran has decided that the most important thing is peace, regional peace and global peace. We are not fighting anybody. We are just defending ourselves. But After 10 days, they attacked Iran. After the conference over, the celebration over, I spent my time, because I want to see Isfahan. I've been 3 times, I will see Isfahan. It's a very nice place. I go there. And it's so beautiful place. I'm campaigning that if you want to spend holiday, please go to Isfahan after the war. You know what? I took the flight with my daughter on the 11th to come back. And it's 6 p.m. that day. So we took 6 p.m. flight to Dubai. 12 in the morning, Iran was attacked. If I book a flight on the 12th, it was me, I'm still there. I'm still there. But it's useless because I cannot fly fighter jet because I'm not a pilot. So, but that's the story now. It's a long story, but it's too sentimental to me, and I'm hope that one more thing, last one I want to share. When I was in Iran, I go around, even to visit the house of Khomeini, the Cucu Khomeini. But one thing, they are asking, what is Malaysia's stand on Israel issues? Among the delegates asking. The delegates, most of them are ex-ministers from Africa, from, but not from Dubai, but from this other country. They're asking, what is the stand of Malaysia for Israel? I said, Malaysian people are with Palestinians, even the government. But they say to me, we read the statement, there is a contradictory statement. Whether Malaysia is supporting Israel or Malaysia is supporting Palestinians. Because there were number of contradictory statements. Dr. Muzaffar, with due respect to you, I'm just telling you, what they ask me, I don't know whether it's true or not. But I keep defending my country. I say, no, Malaysia has sacrificed a lot. Even I mentioned Maki, who always... Yeah, okay. Okay. So, cakap dia ni, apa ni, itulah ceritanya, dia untuk tanya saya. But anyway, thank you very much for the opportunity. God bless Iran, and kita mestilah berdoa. Itu saja kita boleh buat dengan solat-solat hajat yang tidak putus-putus demi keselamatan rakyat dan kedaulatan negara Iran dan kita orang Islam. Terima kasih. Wabillahi taufiq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. Okay, just let me little change the situation for the better the cover of this conference. Okay, we can go. Okay, if you want. Thank you very much. Thank you also for it. Okay, thank you. Okay.